Well, good morning and welcome back to yet another video. We're going to review this Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Of course, it's not a good review if we don't have any goal today. And the goal is today to get some cheese. I want to get some cheese in the most famous city of the Netherlands. World renowned. Everybody knows the city. And the city is called Gouda or Gouda. Yes, the place where you can get the cheese. So that's our goal for today, and we're going to ride the Royal Enfield to Gouda. So let's go. So of course we need a full tank of gas, because I want to test the range. Hopefully I get it down to 0, but we'll see. So, and this is also a bit of a practical review, because let's see how the daily things work, like filling it up. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty good quality. So I think this will be around, let's say maybe €3 or something. So they will laugh at me, but yeah, it's the only way to find out how much. I'm not sure how much liter goes in the tank. I will put that down below if I know. So €5.75. It's 3 liters, so it's not a lot. Okay, so you need to put it down and push it in. Pretty easy. We're going to Gouda, as I said, and we're going to use this awesome tripper navigation. So let's see, it's the Royal Enfield app, and this is correct. Let's go to Gouda. So it's 70 kilometers. We're gonna avoid the highway and we're going to ride. Phone is not connected, so we need to connect. Oh, yeah, Bluetooth was off. It's not the bike's problem, not the bike's fault. It was my fault. Connecting. Oh, pretty easy, pretty fast. Navigate. I don't want any sound. I just want that. So it's 95 kilometers. And we should get there around 12. So plenty of time to talk about the bike and getting to know the bike. I already like this bike. That's the problem. If I like it too much, I want to buy it. And I don't want to buy a new bike, but I really like it. So it's a pretty good day today. I think it will be around 14 degrees, so good weather to ride, almost perfect weather to ride. And yeah, I'm excited to test this bike out. I did a first impressions video, of course, the day before, and that video will be uploaded before this video. And this is the full and thorough review. I have to say, first impressions on the tripper navigation, I really like it. I really like the way of navigating, not knowing the road, only knowing which way you need to go. Really simple, It looks awesome. I really like it. Not a big screen or something, like just a simple navigation. They should sell this separately. I know you have the Beeline Moto navigation, and I would love to try that one for my Moto Guzzi's. But yeah, they should. It works. This really works. It works with Google Maps, and yeah, it just gives more than enough info. It looks good, and it works until now. But okay, you need to remember we're only 10 minutes in, so we'll see if we reach our destination. So I think it's about time to talk about the dealer who supplied me this beautiful Royal Enfield. So special thanks to Axel's Bike Shop here in the Netherlands. They are a really cool shop. They have a lot of bikes. They're an official Royal Enfield dealer, and they also do a lot of other bikes and other brands. What I really like about them, that they really give a really laid back, relaxed feeling. They're not on you instantly when you are in the shop. They're just, okay, take your time, look around and enjoy the motorcycles. And what I also really like, they have a really rare collection. So not rare that it's not found anywhere, but they have a really special collection. They have a lot of new Honda Goldwings, for example, a lot of Moto Guzzi's, Harleys, but also modern adventure bike like KTM's and BMW's. And yeah, I really like that. They have a lot of changes in their inventory, so you see a lot of different bikes in their inventory. And yeah, that's one of the things that I really like. They're really relaxed guys, and I highly recommend to go there if you're in the neighborhood. If you're a Royal Enfield fan, please go there. They have a lot of Royal Enfields, and they have a really cool shop. Yeah, just go there. Okay, I want to talk about comfort of this bike. I do think this bike is pretty comfortable. The forward riding position, or the forward controls, they're a bit between real forward controls and mid controls, give a really relaxed riding position. It's not that forward that you need to stretch your legs. I am around 186 centimeter, and yeah, it fits me perfect. So it's also good for I think bigger people, and I think even if you're around, well, let's say 193, I think it's even big enough. So it really suits the taller riders. The seat looks very good, by the way, and the comfort on the seat is also pretty good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this seat and the comfort of my turn signals were on. And the angle of your legs is pretty relaxed, so yeah, I like it. They have really good rubber foot peg, so you don't feel a lot of vibrations. And also the thing regarding comfort is the way that this handlebar is placed. You don't have a really forward lean, just really neutral. I really like the fact that it's a nice big and wide handlebar. It's a little bit fat even, so that gives a cool look. Also the grips are, yeah, they look very cool, and they are pretty, yeah, not plush, but yeah, comfortable. So if I should give the comfort a rating, I think it's at least 4 out of 5. So yeah, really good comfort. Let's talk a little bit about the tech that this bike has. It's not a lot, but I think it's right at the exact amount you should need on this bike, maybe and even a little bit more. One thing that I really like is this tripper navigation. Works fine until now, looks great, and it's just more than enough, and you don't need any additional navigation on this bike if you like to use Google Maps. Also the dash, you have more than enough info, even a lot. You have a trip meter, I think 2. You have a gear indicator, you see the time, you have a fuel gauge, and what else? The only thing you don't have is a RPM. Yeah, 2 trip meters, no RPM gauge, but yeah, do you really need it on this kind of bike? I don't think so. And also the bike has ABS, no traction control, no riding modes. Really simple, but I think more than enough. It doesn't have a slipper clutch, just it also doesn't have a hydraulic clutch or something like that, but doesn't need it. Just have all the essentials: warning lights, turn signals, of course, a horn, LED lights on the front, and I also think on the back. Yep, also on the back. Yeah, and that's it regarding tech. So it's not fully packed, but as I said, more than enough and just perfect. Maybe this is a good time to talk about the engine. So this bike has an engine, I think 648, yeah, 648 cc or 650. I always wonder why they don't make it 650, but maybe I'm too stupid to understand. But so the engine, yeah, it's really good. I think it has around 74 horsepower or something like that. So you are allowed to ride with an A2 license. Yeah, stupid license rules here in Europe. But that means that as a beginning rider you can buy this bike and enjoy the hell out of it. And I do think I'm used to high-powered bikes, not ultra high or something like that, but all my bikes have around 110 horsepower, and this one has a lot less. But because it has around 56 or 57, we'll go to the specs later, but 57 newton meters of torque. Yeah, it feels a lot more peppy than it is on paper, so it's more than enough. And I really like the sound of the engine. I will show you a sound clip, of course. As I said, I really like it. It has a lot of grunt. Let's see, left. It has a lot of grunt. It is pretty smooth. As I said, no vibrations. Just, yeah, a really good engine. I really love it. And I was a bit curious or a bit skeptical. I think I took the wrong road. We'll see if it okay, 790 meters to the right. But yeah, I was a bit skeptical of this engine, because I was thinking, okay, 650 cc, that's a small engine for European standards. I know this is the biggest engine that they offer at the Royal Enfield. I think I'm going to make a U-turn. But yeah, as I said, it's more than enough. It's really good. I will give the engine a 4 out of 10. It's also pretty nimble. U-turn is pretty easily made. Let's do this. Pop, pop. Yeah, it's fast enough. Of course, this is a more laid-back machine, but if you want to ride a bit faster, it's easily done. I do think that if you're going to ride really fast and take corners in a fast way, you will easily scrape the foot pegs or something else. But yeah, that's part of the charm, right? Let's go. And brake. Yeah, brakes are really nice. So, talking about the brakes, of course it has ABS, because you're not allowed to sell bikes in Europe without ABS. The brakes are from Vibra or Vibra. I think that's part of Brembo. I think it's even means by Brembo. Oh, by Brembo. You have a single disc up front and a single disc at the rear. I'm not sure about the millimeters, but let's say it's adequate. I really think the rear brake is even pretty good. I do know bikes that have really bad rear brakes. And this one, yeah, it's good. I can easily put it in ABS. It's quite controlled. Yeah, no complaints. And also a really cool thing about the brakes, that it is standard with steel braided brake lines. So yeah, where do you see that in this price point? I do think that even some Japanese manufacturers still use rubber brake lines, and also some American manufacturers still use rubber brake lines. And if you check your manual of your bike with rubber brake lines, you will see that you need to replace them at around every 6 years. So try replacing a brake line with ABS. It's a bit of a hassle. Of course, it's always possible, but yeah, you don't want that. So I always highly recommend to change your rubber brake lines for steel braided ones, because they look cooler, they are better, and you don't need to replace them every 6 years. We're riding this bike at around 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour. The mirrors are more than good enough. I really like the mirrors. I really like the styling of the mirrors, and I also like that you can see a lot in it. It's more than enough. They're big enough. I would definitely not change them on this bike. They suit the bike, and a really big plus is that they're not vibrating. So you can easily see license plates and read them if you have good enough eyes, of course. But yeah, yeah, perfect. That's perfect. So the overall rideability of the bike is really good. I think that as a beginner rider you will be pleasantly surprised of how easy this bike rides. The seat height is pretty low, and you get your feet easily on the ground if you're, let's say, at least 170 centimeters. And yeah, the gearing is easy. You also have a gear indicator, so you know which gear you're in if you don't forget, like me. And yeah, the clutch is easy to operate. It gives a lot of feedback. Not too heavy, not too light. It's not easily stalled. So yeah, pretty good. But that woman is really mad. I'm not sure why, but she had some problems with herself, I think. But yeah, rideability, as I said, easy. Cornering, stable, confidence inspiring. I'm sorry. Yeah, really good bike for beginners. It's not only good for inexperienced riders, it's also good for riders who are not new to biking, but let's say they have quit biking because they got children or they got a little bit scared and they want to try it again. I think it's perfect. So welcome to the center of Amsterdam. A little bit of filtering because yeah, you're in the city. Zero. Complete opposites of this bike. Welcome to a big city. I do think these kind of bikes belong in these kind of cities. Just they look so cool in these areas. The famous waterways in Amsterdam, or in Dutch we call it the gracht. This bike is pretty easy to ride slowly, so it's perfect for city riding, I think. So cheese. So we have some Dutch cheese over here, but it's not the cheese that I want. Oh, it smells good. Not the weed, but the food. I'm hungry. We're going to film off-roading. In Holland we call this Belgian roads because they're that bad. It's a little Dutch joke. My favorite kind of people. Okay, I do need to say that the suspension, although very good, and from Showa with these kind of roads, like small pebbles or something like that, you're a bit losing your fillings on in your teeth. But yeah, it's a compromise because yeah, you do want smooth on the roads, on the smooth roads and fast roads and long turns, but that does mean that with this standard suspension, not adjustable on the front, yeah, you are losing your fillings in your teeth when riding on these kind of roads. There's one problem with tripper navigation: it doesn't get any live traffic info. Oh my god. Oh man, I hate these things, stupid trikes. It doesn't have any live traffic info, so that's a problem, because if there's any road work, it will move you in the wrong direction and get you stranded like I'm right now. I'm not stranded, but lost. There's one thing that I do notice on the speedometer and on the navigation, is that it's not glass, it's plastic, and it's already scratched. So this bike has around 2,000 kilometers, I think, and it's scratched. So I do recommend that if you would buy this bike, it's not a deal breaker at all. If you're willing to buy this bike, you should invest in some screen protectors if you care about not scratching the clocks. But that's the only gripe I have about the tech. The question is, does this bike replace or fills in the gap that Harley Davidson has left behind with removing the Harley Davidson Sportster, air-cooled, reasonably affordable for Harley Davidson standards in Europe? As you need to know, for reference, I'm used to a lot of bikes. I've had multiple Moto Guzzi's. I still have. I have had 4 Harley Davidson, including one Harley Davidson Sportster, a Roadster 1200, and that Bob Street Glide and that kind of stuff. I also owned a Triumph Street Cup, so that's the same as the Street Twin, only with a clip-on handlebar instead of a normal handlebar on the Street Twin. And so I do have something to compare it to. And personally, I think that this bike would easily replace the Harley Davidson Sportster. As you may know, Harley Davidson is a really old brand, has a lot of heritage, a lot of history, and a cult following. And I do think that Royal Enfield is also a really old brand, has a lot of heritage, and maybe a little bit less of a following than Harley Davidson, of course, but still, if you're looking for a cruiser, like maybe a little bit of a hipster like motorcycle, I do think that this bike would fill in the gap pretty easily. It's way cheaper than a Harley Davidson, even cheaper than a used Harley Davidson Sportster. It has ABS standard. It's probably very reliable. So yeah, why shouldn't it? It looks good. It's a cruiser. It's only 650, but yeah, that's more than enough horsepower. I think even more than most Harley Davidson Sportsters with 883 cc engines, or more than even some 1200 Sportsters. Not the water cooled, of course. Those bikes are pretty fast. So yeah, good replacement. About comfort, by the way, I've been sitting on this saddle for around, say it's almost 2 o'clock right now, so a little bit less than 4 hours, and I do begin to feel my butt. But you need to imagine that after 4 hours you feel it almost on every bike, so I think that's not a bad thing, just normal. So we're almost at the city of Gouda, or Gouda, and if I'm honest, I've never been there before, so I was expecting a lot of cheese everywhere, but I'm beginning to think that maybe it's not what I should expect. So it's time for the conclusion. I am really happy with riding this bike. We've been riding for about 250 kilometers today. around 5-6 hours, and yeah, it doesn't disappoint. It's a really good riding bike. It's pretty comfortable, although my butt is a bit hurting, but it's pretty comfortable. The engine is good, the price is pretty good, the build quality is awesome, the sound is awesome, handling, yeah, it handles like a charm. Yeah, if you would consider this kind of bike, you want a classic bike that is also a good riding bike, I would definitely consider the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like, maybe subscribe, and maybe I will see you in the next video. Bye.